I'm in the same boat, the same thing. Husband, kids, career, all that stuff. You want to be the best of all those things. And there's a phrase that a mentor once said to me was and not or. I can be the best dad or I can be the best husband. It's like, no, I can be the best dad and the best husband.
Yeah.
And I think it just comes down to accepting the fact that for me, the biggest thing has been like understanding that these things take time. I think I've done a good job of building my business and seeing success in that area of my life while still being a good dad and a pretty good husband. Could my business be further than it is right now? Sure, it could have, but it would have came at the sacrifice of my relationship with my wife or time with my kids. And it's just that and not or. How do I have both of these things at the same time? And I think you just got to learn to be a little patient.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
We're back. Was that my normal intro?
Yeah.
What do I normally say? Yeah. I think that's what I say.
Hey, everybody.
Normally. Hey, everybody.
You almost you sound like that doctor on Simpsons.
Which is also
without the accent.
I'm Dr. Nick.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
It was pretty spot on.
Fuck. That's how I sound?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's
you have the tone. The tone, it's like almost identical.
Is it fake?
No,
does it sound fake?
No, it sounds...
I don't mean it, so it probably sounds fake, but that's fine. I don't know how to start.
Yeah, well,
how do you start?
You've been doing a great job for 44 episodes. So
44?
This is 45, yeah.
Holy shit.
There we go, nice.
Yeah, it's
well
been... we're almost coming up to 2 years, which is pretty fucking exciting.
Well, and I was reading some things, and like most podcasts don't make it past 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, like more than 90% of podcasts don't make it past the year.
Well, and it depends. Are you weekly? Are you daily? Twice a week?
But they don't make it past the year.
But yeah, it's that 1 year. It's like,
I think that's a milestone. Yeah. Like, I think based on that data,
well,
it's a milestone.
Some people get into podcasting to make money, and really, like, it's it's like
all 6 people that have actually made money doing this.
Well, exactly. like no podcast.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just waiting for my $100 million.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And podcasting is not it's a hobby, and it's like this is why we do it, because this is form of a therapy for us.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about shit that it matters to us.
Yeah.
Matters to our listeners, our guests. Like.
Well, we just do what people give us feedback to keep
doing,
and like what we feel like doing.
Yeah.
So it's not even about our agenda so often.
No, yeah,
like,
it's fun. It's nice.
Well, and
nice to get together,
even with our guest today, Tyler. Welcome, thank you.
Hey, no worries.
I'll do a more formal introduction at some point, but like, we have this conversation before we have guests on, and we talk about a little bit about like, hey, what do you want to talk about? What are we focused on today? But like, we really focus. Actually, we like to leave it to just be kind of free-form conversation.
Yeah.
And I think we've sort of intentionally decided that over a time where we've been doing this,
like,
we've
nothing
kind of
is
figured
scripted,
out what we want to do, and like, we know that like being a dad and having a career and being a provider like are significant things, and like, which means probably if the 3 of us feel that, there's a large percentage of men out there that also feel that, and so are interested in that, and so that's kind of what we maybe try and guide the conversation to, but not even. We just kind of when we have guests, we kind of let the guests like guide us where they want to go.
Yeah.
We're going to get Lost Boys.
Perfect.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Did you bring a map?
Lost Boys? I'm in.
No, and the other thing is too, like, building new relationships and new connections. Like, it's unbelievable. So 2 episodes ago, we had Graham on.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I met him. And we've connected so well. And then the following episode was me talking about me going through some stress and going on stress leave, and then like he reached out to me. He's like, holy shit, dude, like, here's my number, if you want to talk. Like, it's so, and like I've met so many great people that you knew before, and they came on here, and like through talking to
and me too, like
struggles,
vice versa.
Like we've developed these new friendships and relationships with other men.
I had a friend text me the other day, an old friend who I don't really see very often anymore, but he texted me and he's like, Let me get this straight. Actually, you know what? I want to read the text exactly what it was.
Okay,
Hold
okay,
on.
yep.
I got to get my phone. He sent me a text and said, so let me get this straight. You have a podcast. It's great. And you've had 3 of my closest friends on it. I had no idea.
Wow.
So he knows, he's very close with Graham. I've known him since I was probably 14.
Yeah.
He's super close with Graham. He is super tight with, what's his face? Lee Gorin.
Oh,
who was like
okay.
one of our first episodes.
Yeah.
He's super tight with Lee Gorin, and he knows Glenn super well.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
So he was like, what the fuck? You're doing this podcast? I've never heard of it before.
Yeah.
And then I guess he listened to some episodes and was super pumped. And obviously,
Nice.
like his friends' episodes, like let's start with those.
Yeah.
And hear what your friends had to say. But yeah, and now he wants to be a guest. Like I asked him,
great.
and also he'll be a great guest.
Did you tell him we charge?
He won't be as good as Tyler, but he'll be a great. Well, he's a firefighter.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That'd be
So
Oh, is that Dano?
another lazy employee.
Is that
but,
Dano?
like,
is it Dan?
yeah, Dan
Oh,
Thomas.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Do you know Dan?
I don't know him, but I've heard stories about him
Okay.
from Glenn. Yeah, like they're like best friends.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So Dan, I've known Dan since I was like 13 or 14
Oh, wow,
years
okay.
old.
Small world.
Dan's been through an incredible amount of trauma in my life and supported me through. He was a mentor to me when I was young.
Okay, I you remember you talked
Like
about
when my
him.
best
yeah.
friend died when I was
Yep.
like 16, Dan was one of the people next to me when I had to go through that for the first time in my life. So
Holy
like
shit, small world.
Dan's been a very significant part
Yeah.
of my life for a very long time. So he wants to come on and be a guest, which is great.
Yeah, wonderful.
But speaking of guests, we have Tyler Robb here today.
hello.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Tyler Robb is my summer friend, and so
Seasonal friendship.
It's a seasonal friendship. We're recording.
It's February. You guys are hanging
I
out.
know it's actually super weird.
and awesome though.
I love it though. It's great.
Yeah.
Tyler and I play golf together.
Okay, yeah.
Average twice a week,
Yeah.
every week during summer.
Yeah.
And we actually became friends through that. I didn't know who the fuck you were.
Nope.
Me and another friend of mine, John, we play. Anyone who's listened to my old podcast, it's Johnny Vegas.
Yeah.
Love
Who's
that.
going to be a guest on our show at one point
At
as
some
well?
point, he'll make an appearance,
Yeah.
but we're just waiting.
Yeah.
So Tyler and I, and I don't actually remember entirely the story.
I was going to tell the story.
Oh, do you
because-
wanna- okay.
Yeah, it was.
We'll do the check. Okay, we'll do the check-in after. Tell the story first.
Okay, so yeah, I joined Pine Ridge to golf, and the whole point was to meet some new people.
Yeah.
Started a real estate business, and I needed to start making some connections. And I said to my wife, I sold her the whole thing. I sold her on the idea of like,
You built the pitch?
yeah, I built a pitch, and I said to her, I'm going to go get a golf membership.
This is business
Yeah,
related.
this is totally business related. 100%. I need to go meet
I
some
hate
people.
golf.
Yeah, I don't even like golf. I'm going to go.
Neither John or I have bought a house from Tyler for the record.
Not yet. But, so the whole thing was like, I'm going to go meet some people. I'm going to golf 2-3 times a week. And the whole idea is I'll meet 2 or 3 new people every week for the first little while. It would be great. And the first week I did that. Second week I did that. Met some older dudes, some younger dudes. And then I got paired up with Tim and John. And then I immediately stopped meeting new people. Like we finished a round. It was a good round. And they were like, hey, it was fun. Like, do you want to do this on Thursday again? And I was like, yeah, okay. And then it was just like it was like, hey, book the tee times for next week, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, done.
And then we just did.
You were on booking this last year.
Yes, I was. I did an okay job.
I did it before. You did an okay job.
Yeah.
There's a few hiccups,
Yeah.
but you did an okay
Had to make
job.
a few last minute phone calls to get something there.
So that's how we met. Like he showed up on our
Random.
tea time one morning, and we played golf together, and it was fun. It was like golf's this weird. You spend so much time with somebody.
Yeah.
Like you really do, and like I can go into the reason is business reasons. I think whatever, but you spend all this time. You spend hours with somebody, walking in nature with them in this beautiful environment. Getting frustrated, getting angry, being super excited, and you cheer each other on.
Yeah.
And you make jokes and you rip on each other, and like it's all like it's this weird thing where you do that.
It's the fucking best.
And it is the fucking best. Like it's so fun for so many reasons beyond just golf.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you'll never you spend so much time together doing this thing, but so much of that time is spent just interacting.
Yeah. Yeah, you're waiting for the group in front of you, or you're waiting to tee off, or whatever.
Or you're walking to your ball.
Yep.
And mine usually way on the right, and yours usually in the middle. But but it's interesting and it's fun, and you get to know, like, in one round of golf, you really do get to know somebody a bit.
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah.
And so we spent, and John and I are not the easiest people to integrate into our sense of humor in our world. And
I just thought there'd be a day where you guys would be like, "Hey, this has been fun, but we're done."
Yeah.
But you took it like a champ, and like you actually are very, like, we all have a lot of alignments together, and like it's been such a positive thing. And so I've very much enjoyed our summer friendship. It's interesting having you here today because I just, like, last winter, I don't think I actually saw you.
No, we didn't. It was like October,
the end of golf season until May.
Yeah, see you in May. Yeah.
I mean, like, we can get into this later,
text a little bit, but like we literally don't see each other in between. And it's like, I also don't feel any less connected to you when we see each other again in summer.
It's like you pick up right where you left off.
It's been easy. It's been an easy, and like finding golf partners is not always the easiest thing.
No,
because you have to first and foremost get along really well as people.
For sure.
And then secondly, you have to appreciate the way they golf, and that doesn't mean they're good or bad.
No.
You can be good or bad. I'm terrible. But like, you have to respect the rules of the game and the way you all believe in the rules of the game and the way you interact while you're out playing the sport. And so there's a lot to it.
100%. Well,
Pace of play is everything. Like, we play in the mornings, so in the mornings you got to play fast.
Yeah.
Like, it just is the way it is.
Yeah.
So fucking whatever decision you're making, I don't care, but do it quickly.
Yeah.
And so, like, we finish our rounds, like, the average round of golf is 4 hours.
Yeah.
Ish. And ours are in the
6
mornings.
if you're drinking.
In the mornings, the expectation is like 3 to 3.5.
Okay.
And so, like, you're moving, you're hustling.
You go.
And like, we just all found a lot of alignment in how we play, what we like to do. And so it's actually it's super funny because it's this huge part of my life. My wife has never met you.
No.
Your wife has never met me.
No.
Like, he doesn't know I know he has kids. I've never met them.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't tell you their names today. But like, for 3 years, we've spent more time together than I have with almost anybody else.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's, when you put it that way, it's true. Like,
well, twice a week, 3.5 hours, like that. Yeah, like that's that's,
and like twice a week, all summer. Like, that's a lot of time together.
Yeah,
I don't hang out with you that much.
No, I don't think so.
Not off mics.
No.
And so, like, it's this weird friendship that means so much to me, but also, like, it's under these conditions, and we just haven't chosen to go beyond that. And it's not that we couldn't and wouldn't enjoy it.
No, we did a comedy show this year. We went to.
That's true. We did. We went to.
We're starting to venture out of the golf course.
We're venturing slightly. We're moving out a little bit.
Now you're doing a podcast together.
Now we're doing a podcast together.
That's good.
No, it's fun, and it's just I do appreciate our relationship very much, and it means a lot to me. And even though it's somewhat seasonal, it does mean a lot to me.
Oh, right back at you, man.
Well, and the thing is, something about golf, like, most people that don't play golf like you guys, like myself, it's I'll go join a tournament, have some drinks, have a good time, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's my golfing. I'll play 2-3 times there, I'm happy, and like, we want carts. Like, I'm not there to exercise. I'm not, I want to have fun. I want to have a drink in my hand and drive a golf cart. Yeah. But like, you guys, like, it's a really good exercise. So you can, like, if you book your tee time, and obviously you guys join a club, so you're paying a membership, so you want to use it as much as possible, because
he uses it a ton because he doesn't do anything. But
we'll get into that later.
We'll get to that. Yeah,
we're gonna unpack that a little bit later.
But that's the nice thing, that, like, so now you're forced to go. So you book your tee time, whether you're having a good day or a shitty day. It's a really good way to unwind and just forget your troubles, forget what you're going through, and like, you're out there walking, getting oxygen to your brain. Like, it's
sunlight.
Yeah, exactly.
And mornings,
so,
like, I only play mornings.
And it's not too hot, but it's warm enough that you can still go in the shorts and enjoy that morning sunshine, right? So, like,
I don't wear shorts.
100%.
Yeah, you don't.
You're always in
I think shorts are a travesty to golf.
I'm gonna wear short shorts.
You're gonna wear
short shorts. You have a picture of that.
I sure do.
You can post that.
Yeah, I think I did with Blake when Blake was on here.
Well, because he was part of that.
That's so funny.
So Tyler is he's a young father.
Yes.
of young men.
One boy, one girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
All
A
good.
young man and a young lady. He's a married man. He's a realtor. He has his own career.
Yep.
And so we're going to dig into some of that. Talk about your story and your history to get there and what life's like now. So
Get insights of realty stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
see how much he's really making. And
too much. It's always too much. But no.
But yeah, let's check in.
We thank you for being here.
No worries.
And
Thanks for having me.
let's do the check-in.
Okay.
Maybe I haven't talked about it for a bit. I kind of got tired of explaining it all the time, but we do a check-in, 1 to 10.
Yep.
How are you feeling? Where are you at? My wife and I started this, and I don't talk a lot at home. I actually just don't.
I can see that.
I don't talk a lot in general, or I do, I don't know,
Yeah.
but not a lot. And so I'm not this big open book at home who's always puking my feelings on my family.
Yeah.
So we found a number system kind of works the best to figure out, like, mostly for her where I'm at.
Yeah.
So we use a number system. So we brought it into the show, and we start kind of every show with the check-in, which is like, and you can pick the timeline. It could be today, it could be a month, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, just where are you at? So Tommy and I will do ours, and then we'll do yours.
Sure.
And you listen to a couple episodes so you kind of understand the concept. And it's an unbelievably helpful, very quick gauge to see where somebody's at.
Yeah, awesome. We do a similar thing within our brokerage. We have a coaching program where a handful of us agents meet on a biweekly basis and kind of go through a similar thing.
Okay, cool. So Tommy, where are you at?
So since my last episode, I don't think I gave a number last time, but it was a low. It was somewhere in
It was pretty
in the
bad,
lows,
yeah.
So I've been off work right now for almost 4 weeks ish. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Just went on stress leave. It was just too much. Everything was piling up, and there's an opportunity for me to try to get better a little bit. So I feel a little overweight, out of shape. My knees are cracking when I'm trying to stand up, and back's hurting all the time. So before this happened, I really wanted to start working out, and just kind of did a little bit for 1 week, and then all hell broke loose and just really hit the wall. And so since then, I went to the doctor. I got some blood work done, got some not so good news, and then I actually had a checkup today with my doctor.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, like a little follow up, and so he did put me on some meds for like it's a serotonin booster, and it's only 10 milligrams, so nothing crazy. It's not like an antidepressant or anything. So it's been working. I've had good days and bad days.
Yep.
More bad days than good ones, but the good ones were really good. So
We're better. Yeah. Okay.
So like the excuse me, the bad ones were kind of like I woke up and I'm just like, you know what? I had a list of things. I try to make a list of things to do the next day. Like, this is what I want to accomplish, because that checking off things it's a little reward.
We talked
you know?
about that.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the last show or the one before. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's a little reward for yourself accomplishing something, right? And so I woke up a few days and it's just like, no, I can't. I was like, I have to do my exercise because to fix my back, going to physiotherapy. So I'm like, I do that, and then I sat down and put on a show or watched a movie or something. I was like, I love watching movies, and like that's kind of fills my cup. If you have a half empty cup.
Can I challenge you on that?
Sure. Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, go for it.
Does it fill your cup or does it distract you from reality?
I think
those are two different things.
I think it does a little bit of both, because me and my wife, before we had kids, like we were at the movie theaters like 2-3 times a week. Yeah. So it's a little bit both. It's definitely a distraction.
Yeah.
But it's also like I love watching movies that my wife wouldn't watch with me, you know.
Yep.
Like I like sometimes crazy alien concepts or like horror movies and things like that. So it's nice that now I can actually watch it without being interrupted or it's too loud, turn it down or whatever, you know. So it was a little bit of both.
Which is okay. Like
I'm
not criticizing.
And
that.
then that was a valid question, yeah. But then I would still try to do something, you know. But then there was days where like I woke up, I'm like, yes, I'm doing my stretches. I'm gonna go to the gym now. Did a little bit of workout. I did the dishes, I cooked, I cleaned the bathroom, you know, like it was really good. And then it's like, oh fuck, my back's hurting. I need to sit down now a little bit.
Yeah.
So from where I was last time, right now, I would say overall I'm about a 5.
Okay.
So, which is my normal is about 7, 8.
Yeah.
And I do fluctuate very fast. Like if something good happens, I'm feeling great. Like today was a great day. I woke up and hung up. My family is actually home today, so we had a good morning together. And last night I hung out with friends a little bit. Went outside. I was outside till 1 a.m. Playing sponge hockey on the river by the fire.
Oh, sweet.
Friends that I haven't seen.
Yeah, he had a night last night.
Yeah, the friends that I haven't seen like in
it's awesome.
In
I can see the appreciation in your eyes.
No, but you know, friends that I haven't seen in like 5-6 weeks, like since Christmas. So it was really nice to go out there, moved around a little bit. I didn't want to push it too much, but it was just a nice time to be outside. And again, like it was fucking cold last night.
I was gonna say it was
like,
nice, beautiful night, but
it was like
I played hockey inside an arena last night. And
Yeah,
it was freezing.
Yeah,
yeah, no, it was like a minus. I have a picture. I'll throw it up there for everyone. But like my whole face was like the beard
frosted,
was
eh?
frosted.
You were
Yeah.
frosted. Well, you got the beard and everything.
Yeah, it was, and like we
awesome.
started playing, and instantly, like within 5 minutes, I had like icicles building up.
Yeah.
But like, it's this is what helps me get through winter. I look forward to these activities, you know, like playing spongy in the league, playing hockey with my guys on Friday, playing spongy on the river, and like, so I've the last 2-3 weeks, I really needed to and have to focus on me.
Yep.
You know, I want to get better. I want to do I reached out to therapies. I have EAP, so through work, so they're going to provide me a therapist, but it's an actual therapist that answers the phone. So I spent about half an hour, and sorry, this check-in is a little long, but
no, this takes what it takes.
But they ask me questions like, okay, like, you know, they ask me questions like, are you suicidal? Are you wanting to hurt somebody else? Or blah, blah, blah.
Always,
and
yes.
then, my co-host. And, but, you know, they ask me like, okay, do you get up? Do you shower? Do you take care of yourself? Do you do things you love? What's your hobbies? Do you do those hobbies? And when they ask me those questions, I'm like, holy shit, like, yeah, I haven't been doing those things. Like I haven't been doing the hobbies that make me feel good. Now, part of me doesn't want to do that because I have a wife and kids, and like if I do that, I got to go to work the next day, and then I'm tired, and then I'm useless for my family, right? So part of it, I didn't do it because of my family, so and because I made that decision not to do it. But like I was like, okay, now I have the time to really go to the bottom of it, what's making me happy and how I'm going to manage it going further, because I do have to go back to work. I have to resume my regular life.
Yeah, and that's the hard, like the integration of I get to do anything I want or a lot of the things I want throughout my day. Tying that into like I also have a responsibility to like provide for my family, and if I don't work I can't do that. And so like those are, and we're going to talk to Tyler about that quite a bit, I think, and like
lots to unpack there.
Yeah, and like that's tough.
Like I and just one more thing I want to say, I had a really good conversation with my wife.
Don't rush yourself. It's fine, man. Like it's all good.
I had a conversation with my wife because I see the toll it's taking on her right now. Like she obviously wants me to get better, so she's like, just do what you need to do, I'm gonna push through. And like it fucking breaks my heart to like see her struggling, because I know she's struggling with some health issues, she's struggling with, you know, she's got lots of work, she also does side business, you know, she's taking care of our 2 wonderful kids, and like always making sure everyone is like on point. And,
She's got her own plate full. Yeah.
And so like I actually like hugged her and gave her a kiss and just like thanked her for like putting up with my shit, because I said a few things and she kind of got worried about it, like where I said like, oh, I don't know how the future is going to look like, but I'm trying to do my best, and I know it will be. And she was kind of worried, like, well, what are you talking about exactly? So I said, I want to be the husband that she deserves.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, well, no, like, I don't want you to be somebody else. I'm like, no, like, this is from my point of view. Like, I want to be this good husband that takes care of you, that holds you above everything, all other than the kids.
Yeah.
But like, I really wanted her to know that I appreciate everything that she's done for me.
Yeah.
Because without her, I don't know where I would be.
Well, and I think we like, and maybe this is something we should get into at some point, but like, I think we aim to be the best version of all these things we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be the best husband. I need to be the best father. I need to be the best employee or business person or entrepreneur. And like, how the fuck do you do all of those and not feel like you're like, it's a balancing act?
Yeah.
But it's always a balancing act of like, for me, it's always a balancing act against like, which one do I have to give on? And then how long do I have to give on it till I get the thing from the other one? And like, I want to be an amazing husband. I want to be an amazing, like, it's not that I don't want to do those things.
Yeah. That's right.
But like, is there hours in a day? Do I have the energy? I also want to be an amazing friend, and I want to be like an amazing person enjoying the amazing things that I do. And like, there's only so many hours in a day. And like, I struggle with that, man. I struggle with that all the time. Like, I always feel, and how do you approach that from a motivational standpoint rather than a defeatist standpoint?
Right.
So like,
Oh,
I'm just never good enough of all of these versus I'm good at all of these and like, I just want to try being better at them.
Yeah.
And how do you use that to like, can I be better at this or is this just constant failure?
Right.
And like, that's a real thing that I'm saying about my life. Like, and I know it's your check-in.
No, but
don't mean to bully in, but that's the struggle for me is like, in the deepest part of my soul, I want to be the best dad. I want to be the best husband. I like those 2 things before everything, but like, I want to be so good at my career and successful. And like, I want to have fun with my friends, and I want to golf with Tyler every week and have a great time. And like, how do I do all those things without feeling like I'm failing at one of them?
Right. Yeah. So
is it a mentality switch? Is it the way you approach it? Is it accepting that like, not everything has to be perfect, or you're never going to have the time for everything, and you just got to do your best and like prioritize and juggle?
It's like, it's funny as you say that, because like on the way over here I was thinking about things I could talk about, and that was actually like a big chunk of the topic was
always fucking happens.
Yeah. Really? You guys are just so good at the show. But it's true, because like I'm in the same boat, the same thing. Husband, kids, career, all that stuff. You want to be the best of all those things. And there's a phrase that a mentor once said to me was and not or. And I can be the best dad or I can be the best husband. It's like, no, I can be the best dad and the best husband. And I think it just comes down to accepting the fact that I'm an impatient person naturally by nature. I want everything like yesterday. And
me too. You and I are the same that way.
So for me, the biggest thing has been like understanding that these things take time. I think I've done a good job of building my business and seeing success in that area of my life while still being a good dad and a pretty good husband. Could my business be further than it is right now? Sure, it could have, but it would have came at the sacrifice of my relationship with my wife or time with my kids. And it's just that and not or. How do I have both of these things at the same time? And I think you just got to learn to be a little patient, and here's a steady climb.
It's hard. It's hard to accept. I'm going to use the term mediocrity, but not mediocrity. But like,
I know what you mean, though.
It's hard to give on stuff. Like, and I think Tyler, you and I aren't that different in that sense, but like, and Tommy, you as well. But like, it's hard to give when I know I could be doing X, but also I have to do Y, Z, and A. like I can't give the same amount to all of them.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. Like you literally just can't.
Oh, it's so tough. Like we'll be sitting there, like it'll be dinner time, and like my phone will go off, and I'll be sitting there going like, I could answer these clients.
I do it all
they might
the
want to
time.
see like a house in the morning,
Yeah.
and if
Yeah.
I answer right now, I could book
Maybe
that.
I'll get that opportunity.
Yeah.
And like I create urgency that maybe doesn't exist.
So true.
Yeah.
And it might be with my daughter, it might be with my wife, it might be with my work. For sure work is,
Yeah.
if I was to bring one of those to the table that probably needs more balance, it's my work.
Yeah.
and probably you as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And probably you as well. And so like it's interesting. It's just like how much am I willing to give and what's the balance, and like I like that and or thing.
Yep.
I think there is a way to be all of those things and do great at all of those things. And maybe it's about me tapering what my perspective is on what that means to be great at that.
Yeah. What is
Yeah.
your expectation?
Like
right?
I can't spend every night with my daughter for 6 hours
Yeah.
hanging out and connecting.
Yeah. And your wife.
Because then I can't do it
And
with my
same.
wife, and I can't do it with my work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I can't do it with my friends. So like it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
everyone has to, well, not everyone. I have to find balance
Yeah.
that satisfies me and those people and that group and that thing.
Well, and it's funny. It's like a self-discipline thing too, where you have to, let's say like, okay, I'm going to work from 9 to 5 today, whatever the hours are.
Yeah.
That's my time for work. At 5 o'clock, I'm going upstairs. I'm going to hang out with my kids. Like for me, 3 o'clock, my kids get home 3:45. I try to shut it down from there. And then at 5 o'clock, like I do most of the cooking in our house. I take over dinner. So like from 3:45 to 7-ish is like pure family time. And I try to stay self-disciplined with that and make sure that I lock that stuff up. But at the same time too, like we were saying, like time with the kids, time with the wife. And like sometimes my kids are like, hey dad, like just kind of want to play on my tablet now. Like,
Yeah.
you can go now. It'd be fine.
My daughter's getting old enough. She's getting to that point
Oh, yeah.
where like she doesn't necessarily want to hang out.
Yeah, you're like, what are you
Which
doing? What are you
also
doing?
I fucking hate.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
don't
it's the
like
worst.
it. Well, we've talked about this.
My
I think
daughter
last show.
my daughter comes home, is like, hey, how's it going? Good. Okay, bye. And then she goes
and
to her
then,
room.
that's it. And
Yeah.
like,
That's
but
the
you,
that was great.
But you also realize the like it's great in a sense that it's like, okay, cool, maybe I can hang out with the wife now, or I can
Yeah.
like do some work.
Well, because like you were
But
16 years old. Did you want to hang
but
out with
I
your
miss
parents?
them.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you need me. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know this, but you need me now more than you ever have.
Yeah.
Like, I need to spend time. My daughter's 13.
Right.
So like, I need to spend time with you now more
Yeah.
than I've ever had to spend
Yeah.
time with
Oh,
you.
yeah.
And also, you want to spend the least amount of time with me now than you've ever wanted
Opposite
to.
ends of a
Yeah,
magnet.
Yeah.
and so it's just like two magnets, like, and she's amazing, and we find these things we do together to spend time together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like we get to do those, but sometimes like, hey, you want to watch an episode of Squid Game? We're watching Squid Game together, and some nights she's like, nah, not. I'm kind of doing some stuff, and
You're
I'm
just
like,
crushed. You're like,
and I
yeah.
was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
And it's
How
like,
dare
okay,
you?
well, I kind of banked on that, so like now what do I do?
Fine, I guess.
Mom's taking a nap. I guess I'll work. Like,
Fuck me. I guess I'll go back to my
And
desk.
that-
right? Yeah.
well, and that's the
Fine, I'll
that's
go
the
back to work,
juggling, right?
Pay for your fucking stuff. Like,
That's the juggling of responsibilities,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to almost wing it sometimes.
yeah.
So.
And my wife and your wife, and I'm sure yours too, like,
Yeah.
they do such an exceptional job of like
Oh.
adapting to all this constant change that we're going through,
Oh,
and like
100%.
this feeling, and I'm sure the two of you feel it the same, but like this deep seated feeling of needing to be a provider.
Yeah.
And so like I know your wife works, Tommy, and I know your wife does some stuff.
Yeah, she's
but
got a side business.
I think you carry a lot of the financial weight of the family.
Yep.
I think you're responsible for a lot of that.
Yep.
And I think we all feel that. And
Yeah.
right now, like, my wife is carrying some of that and I'm carrying some of that, and we kind of go back and forth and we split it, and we like have found some good ground to do that together. And like, I never feel happy about it, but like,
Yeah.
also thank God she does it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure.
if she didn't do X, like maybe Autumn couldn't do certain things. Like, so
Yeah.
I've been in sort of entrepreneurship mode for a number of years, and like that story hasn't been, it's a very colorful story and hasn't been super positive for a lot of it. And so like I thank fuck every day that my wife like has a career and a business that she's super successful in, and like
That's awesome.
thank God she can do that so my daughter can go to private school, and like that.
And that's
not a brag. That's just reality.
And
like,
you guys can do the things that you want to do, like whatever's
not
your
all of them,
important.
but we can do most of them. Yeah.
No, we've talked about it too with my wife.
So we got way sidetracked.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, let's go back to that.
Yeah, that was
thing.
like, how you doing,
It
Tim?
doesn't matter now. Like, let's just get into. I think we should do Tyler's though. Like,
Well, just give us a rough number, like just so the
I'm
audience knows.
very busy, and my brain is super busy these days. But I'm a 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm a 5 between. So I kind of level out at a 7. Like
Okay.
if I'm really great, 7's. You see me at a 7 most of the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, that'll make sense to
Yeah.
you. So you got to give a little bit of context,
yeah.
but like, I'd probably like a 5.
Yeah.
I've got a lot going on, as I always do, but things are shifting, and I won't.
I think you're
I'm
juggling.
not going to get into that right now, but like, I'm going through a lot of different changes in my life, in some of my career stuff. And so like it's just a heavy load. Autumn's full blown in volleyball season.
Yeah.
And so like that's 5-6 days a week, which is limiting some of my time for myself, for my wife. It's limiting some of the time with her. So it's just a big shift.
Yeah.
And so
No, for
like
sure.
we're right in the thick of it. We're just starting the thick of it. And so it's a lot.
I feel like you have lots of mental juggling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think physically, I feel we've been on this diet thing for 2 weeks again now,
Yeah.
which I've done off and on for years and whatever.
I
but
feel
like,
great. Yeah.
physically, I feel good, and like I feel good in that sense, other than the hangovers from this weekend. But like,
We won't talk.
but
about
mentally, I'm like very taxed
Yeah.
and like have to try and I'm digging deep to do everything I'm doing.
it. Okay.
Tyler,
Yeah. So yeah,
what's kind of your norm, and then where are you at today? Is probably the best way to kind of cut that.
I'd say my norm would be like an 8.5. I tend to be a pretty upbeat, happy-go-lucky.
That's true.
Normally in a good mood.
I don't understand that. I've never understood that.
fucking
What a
realtors,
fucking
eh?
asshole coming in here with his big paychecks and his happy life.
Works like twice a month.
That makes me so happy to hear that, though. Like, I love when people come in here and they aren't 5s. Like,
yeah.
yeah, because I just want to learn something. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I mean, like that's probably my norm right now. Like you, like it's for my industry. This is the shit season. It's slow. It's
Well, nobody wants to move.
Nobody wants to move.
Yeah.
It's fucking Winnipeg in the winter, and it's literally minus 40 outside right now.
Yeah.
It's so cold, and with everything going on outside in the world, people are hesitant with some things, and it's a slow time of the year, and with that comes financial stress, and then just the stress. Like if you're a business owner and you get up and you go to work and there's no work to do, it's like,
Right.
the fuck am I even doing?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what December to end of February kind of brings every year, and it's our broker talks about it too. It's like January blues. Like every agent's like, I'm gonna have to sell my business or start. Like I'm gonna go work
The
at Home
sky's
Depot.
falling once a year.
And then March 1st comes and your phone starts ringing. You're like, oh no, it's good, it's good. We're fine. I'm gonna make it.
Now, does that give you opportunity to do more dad and husband stuff?
It totally does. And for the first few years, so I guess right now I'd probably say if I'm normally 8.5, I'm like a 7.
Okay.
A little bit lower than usual,
Yeah.
but just coming with just a little extra stress and things like that. My first couple of years, I didn't know how to do that, take advantage of this time, because it's, for me, mindset is a huge thing for my mental health, how I approach problem solving, how I approach everything. Your mindset is going to determine how you kind of come out of whatever situation that you're in. And for me, I've always tried to have a cup half full mindset. And when I first got into the business, I came from a 9-to-5 life, corporate ladder, always chasing a promotion, I'll get a raise next year kind of thing, all that crap. So when I took on my own job and my own business, I thought like, oh, I have to be working like 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, because that's what everybody
or else
says.
you're failing. Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson says you wake up at 4 a.m. and you work till 2 a.m. and like if you're not doing that, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So
It's true though. Like in that, we're pummeled with that message.
Yeah, like never stop.
From from ourselves. We do it to ourselves.
Well, and I think that comes from like your motivation to be successful too.
And I do think there's some value in the drive,
For
the
sure.
message of the drive. I think there's value in that.
Once you learn how to kind of control it,
Yeah.
I think it's a really good thing.
You find a home for it for yourself.
Yeah. The first few years though, like this time of the year was terrifying. I stressed out. Like I
Never
couldn't
gonna sell
sleep.
another house
Oh, it was
again.
awful, dude. The first year.
Does no one prepare you for that?
Yes and no.
Yeah, okay.
Like people tell you.
I guess
but
you have to experience it.
yeah, it's one of those things. It's kind of like the bird leaving the nest. Like you just jump out and like you fall for a bit before you start flapping the wings.
That's right,
and figuring
yeah.
it
Yeah,
out.
okay, yeah.
So hopefully you figure it out before you hit the ground. And that's kind of what the first year was. I didn't sell. So I got my license in July. I was lucky. I kind of, while I was doing all my schooling and getting my license, I was kind of filling the pipeline. I came from a sales world. I knew how sales worked.
Yeah.
So when I joined the industry, I hit the ground running and I was able to make a few sales right away. And then November came and it just died. And
Yeah.
like November to February, I didn't sell a single house. And like for anyone who doesn't know how real estate works,
tough.
oh dude,
That's super
there is no
tough.
bi-weekly paycheck.
Yeah.
When you
No.
and like so if you sell a house like November 1st, if possession isn't till March, you don't get paid till April. So even if you sell like
shit, I didn't know that.
yeah,
Okay.
so even if you sell 4 houses in December, you still don't have any money.
Yeah.
It costs you money to sell those houses.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then you're stuck waiting until the deals close. And
Yeah.
so that's what they say. Like you got to have like 6 to 8 months of money set aside.
Well,
Yeah.
you really have to be good at budgeting and like kind of like, okay, like this is what coming in. So, you know how you have to be really good at managing your money.
100%. You have to
Yeah.
be really good at and I'm not. Or I wasn't. Like I sucked at it.
You probably had to get good pretty fucking quick.
Oh yeah,
but-
it was again bird out of the nest.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah. There he is,
Which
flapping the
sometimes,
wings.
which
Yeah.
sometimes is the best way to learn
100%.
shit.
That's-
For me, like,
Yeah.
not everybody, but like, I think under duress, we figure it
Well,
out.
Yeah.
the thing is, you fall and you have to get up. But how you get up and how you move forward, that's
Yeah.
what determines, right? So it's okay that you went through these struggles, but as long as you learn from it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that's the way it should work, right?
We had a small nest egg that we had like when I got into the industry. And I can tell that story later if you want, but
You can tell it now if you want. It's fine.
okay. All right. So sure, I'll dive right in. So I was in the auto industry before I was in real estate.
Yeah.
So I sold digital marketing, and I worked with dealerships and had a lot of connections there. The pandemic happened. I got laid off. March 30th, 2020, got laid off. And I'd never been laid off or fired in my entire life. I'd quit a few jobs that those bosses may have said I've been fired, but I quit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's
I like
go
it.
with that. Yeah.
100%. So
You can't quit. You're fucking fired.
you can't fire me, I quit. so I got this phone call and it's like, yeah, we don't have work for you, like stand by. And I was like, what the fuck? I did not. I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't like that. In fact, someone just told me that I couldn't work. And real estate had always been, people always say this, like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to get in real estate. For me, it's actually true. When I was 21, I looked into getting into real estate. I wanted to. I had a great job, paid great money. Real estate was big risk. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would I do that? I have a
Yeah.
great job. I love my job. I'm making good money. Everything was great. So I didn't do it. But then at this point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And the pandemic had just started. So the pandemic, and I've only told this story to a few people, but like the pandemic was like the best thing that ever happened to me. And I don't mean that like
Yeah.
the pandemic
Yeah,
was
yeah,
awful
yeah,
yeah.
in so many
Yeah,
ways.
no, you can say that. That's yeah.
It makes sense. Makes sense.
It was
yeah.
great because it gave I couldn't go anywhere,
Yeah.
right? I couldn't do anything. I was forced to stay home. So like the courses for doing real estate, I mean like in the grand scheme of things, the bar is quite low to get your real estate license, but
Yep.
it does come with a lot of tests and
Yeah.
reading and shit you got to do. And I was able to just stay home. I had nowhere to be.
Yeah.
I devoured those courses and I was like, decided, you know what? I'm going to get my real estate license. No one's going to fucking tell me I can't go to work ever again.
Yep.
And I'm going to work as hard as I want to work. I have been chasing, like I said, like this corporate, promotion, more money.
The ladder, yeah.
The ladder, right?
Yep.
And I was so sick of it. I hated the whole corporate atmosphere. I hated everything about it. I didn't fit. I wanted it because I wanted the rewards.
Well, you wanted to move up. Yeah. Like
I wanted that fucking carrot.
Yeah.
We want
Yeah.
the rewards,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
So-
Which is what corporate does.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, some people work well in that environment.
Absolutely.
Yep.
100%. And
You're just not one of them. That's
Yep.
okay. I'm certainly not one of them.
Yeah. I've got a friend who it's what he does.
I did
He's
it for
so good
1
at it.
year, and we both could not wait to part ways after that year was over.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see how that
I had to
didn't
do
work
it
out.
for 1 year, and then we could not fucking wait to be done with each other.
There you go. Well, and it was good. So like I got into it, and then had nowhere to go. From the moment I decided, you know what, I'm doing this, I think it was like April 4th, I was licensed selling houses by the end of July.
Okay, so you got on it like
Super fast.
Yeah.
And then in that time, it could have been faster, but they weren't holding exams because of COVID, and they weren't
Yeah.
this and that. So it was delayed. I could have even done it even faster, but I started the business, got going right away, and that whole process was really quick. Started selling houses, started seeing some success, but immediately was able to figure out like this is going to be like I didn't have like failure wasn't an option for me.
Yep.
Right. My wife, we had just had our son was 2, she was pregnant, or no, my daughter was just born.
Okay.
So I had like a newborn at home and a 2-year-old son, and like
I need to provide.
I'm like, holy shit, like this can't fail.
this is real. Yeah.
This needs to work. And so every morning I woke up, and she knew that, and like my wife is just the most amazing thing. I said this once, we were on a family vacation, and we were going around the table, we were talking about our significant others and things that we love about them and things that drive us crazy.
That's
about
always
them.
a fun exercise.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know. I call it thin ice.
Pending it doesn't.
It depends on what you say. It
Pending
depends
it
on,
doesn't lead to arguments. But
yeah. No, it's
it
good.
should be a good thing.
Yeah.
When it came to me, like, and everyone laughed when I said this, and we look back on it now, and it's funny because they said, so what do you my wife's name's Claire, and they said, what do you love about Claire? I said, like, we just make the best team. And everyone was just like, that's so lame.
No, that's real.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was real, and like now to this day we say it all the time. Like we make a great team. We talk about like being that best husband and that provider. I couldn't be the provider that I am
Without her.
Without her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if she like people like she has her own side business, and be like, oh, so she doesn't work. I'm like, oh no, she works. She makes her job is to make sure that I can do my job.
Yep.
And we
That's
work
a
together.
job, and that's work.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure it is.
She disappears for 6 hours, man, and our house starts falling apart. I'm just like,
It's crazy how
What the
fast
hell?
that
Yeah.
happens.
oh, it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insanity. She was the literal, I know every guy says it, but she is the literal glue that
Yep.
holds
Yeah.
all of our
Yeah.
stuff together. So
And I
without
think
her,
a lot of us can say that. Like,
I think naturally women have that instinct or that
I think we want to be careful what we say here.
I know, but I think they just have like naturally are like I look at my parents, and my mom's guides my dad like,
Yeah.
this is what we
Yeah.
need to do, and then my dad's like, okay. Actually, I saw a video the other day, like that's a perfect relationship where the woman is like, this is what we're doing, and the guy wakes up like, okay,
Well,
we're
I
doing
think
it.
a
And,
woman.
like,
I think a woman guides the family
Yeah.
from a different perspective.
there's that nurturing.
a man can provide for
Yeah.
the family.
Yeah.
A man thinks about providing and survival, but I think a woman thinks about longevity and
Making sure that
nurture- and
everyone's
nurturing
together,
and
yeah.
the home.
Yeah.
Like my wife, thank God, thinks about like the home and what's the experience everyone's having in the home, and
Yeah.
like within the dynamic
Is
of
everyone
our family.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah. And like what's good for Autumn, what's good for Tim,
Yeah.
what's good for me. Like we
Yeah.
don't I don't think about that the same way she does.
100%.
And I think we're wired differently, and
Yes,
like
yeah.
thank fuck we have them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so but my wife and I, like the team thing for sure.
Yeah.
We're a team.
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
And it's impossible without that team to function.
Oh God, I
for
would
our
be
life to
so
function.
lost.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'd be fucked. I'd miss everything all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't know where to go. And
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
say like, oh yeah, so people will look at our household and be like, oh, so you make all the money, so you
That's
whatever.
just a piece of it.
I'm like,
That's
oh
just
yeah,
one-
that's like 30% of it.
Yeah, like that's just one piece of what it
Yeah.
takes to run a home.
Oh my God, it's so
Like,
true.
yes, you need money. Yes, it's important. But like, holy fuck, you need a million other things
Yeah.
to make that function so everyone's happy.
Well, here's big kudos to our wives.
Yeah,
like there,
to
we,
our
yeah,
wives.
yeah, we
This is
couldn't
good.
have.
To the wives.
Show your wife this part.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Now let's take a little break, run some ads, and then we'll come back.
Sounds good.
People appreciate the fact that you're genuine and authentic. Just be yourself. Like I complimented Justin Lamuda from Rainy Day Forge. He put his YouTube video out, and I've seen every other video he's done, but this one was different. And I reached out to him, and then when he answered, he said that he was just being himself.
Guys, listen up. You know what makes life better? Great knives. But not just any knives, custom knives. Need a knife that'll handle your outdoor adventures? Or a kitchen knife sharp enough to make you feel like a pro? Check out Rainy Day Forge. Crafted right here in Winnipeg. Get yours today at rainydayforge.ca.
It's captivating. Why? Because he's being himself. There we go.
This show is brought to you by our new sponsor, Stoke Screen Printing. Are you looking to make a statement with custom clothing? Stoke Screen Printing is Winnipeg's go-to print shop, and they will bring your vision to life. Whether you need bold screen printing or crisp digital prints or high-quality embroidery or even eye-catching stickers, they've got you covered. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff will walk you through the process and ensure top-tier results with great turnaround times. Now, whether you're looking for a single t-shirt or thousands of pieces for your band, business, or event, or even podcast, they will handle it all at fantastic prices. And then here's an added bonus. If you're a local Winnipeg band, you will get another 10% off from your order. If you're looking for quality, speed, and great service, contact Stoke Screen Printing today and stay stoked.
So you made the jump.
Yeah.
You had thought about it before. You had kind of always considered it as an option. I mean,
Yeah.
there's being a realtor is entrepreneurial.
100% it is.
So you clearly have an entrepreneurial spirit, and like I know you, nobody listening knows you, but like
Yeah.
you do. So that's a big jump.
Yeah.
So you dove in. Your wife was on board.
Yep. 100%.
That experience was she was just like, "Yep, go for it. I'm behind you 100%."
And that's one of the reasons she's like just amazing, because she didn't even question it. When I had the idea and I told her, I think this is the answer right now. Okay. Like it wasn't even like, oh, okay.
So she has
cool.
So she has a lot of faith in you, which you like obviously earned over time.
Yeah, and like sometimes I'm surprised too that she does because
I'm shocked at my wife's ability to tolerate me and support me constantly.
There's been like so many things that we've done outside of the career change. Like we've done a lot of shit. Like when I first met my wife, one of the first things we did, like we were a couple. I met her online. Like we met. We met on Plenty of Fish.
No shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
POF baby.
POF.
This show is not sponsored by Plenty of Fish, but if you guys want to sponsor us, you're more than welcome to.
Anymore? Is that still a
I have
thing?
no idea, but we got matched up and we.
You young people in your internet dating.
How old are you?
I am 36.
Okay, yeah, not that young.
I met my wife the traditional way, drunk at a friend's house.
There you go. Nice. And that's so we met online and like it just sort of clicked. We went. It was funny. Okay, funny story. Our first date. Oh God, this is actually a really funny.
I love
story.
this. Yeah, this is great.
Okay.
Yeah, this is good.
So we met on Plenty of Fish. So obviously we're chatting, texting back and forth, and we had a date set up for Saturday. And my buddy was coming to town, and we had plans to go to Speed World, race go-karts.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Right.
He used to work there.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Nice. Maybe you were there this day.
Yeah, it's possible.
But, 2014. So, so we went to Speed World, and anyone who's never been to like a go-kart track, you buy races, right?
Yeah.
And my buddy and I, we are ultra competitive, like insanity. So putting us at a go-kart track on a Saturday with nowhere else to be is dangerous.
Wait,
and
did you push your wife into the barrier?
She was not there. She was not there. So it was just me and my buddy, and like we had paid for, I can't remember, it was like a dozen races or something.
Yeah.
And we had like 5 or 6 left, and I was supposed to pick Claire up at 6:00, and it's like 3:30, and this bus shows up, and all these kids come off this bus, and
fucking hated those days.
Oh man, they kept getting put on the track before us, so we're on standby. We can't race, and we had paid for all these races. So I'm texting her. I'm like, hey, I might be a little bit late. We're kind of stuck here at Speed World, and whatever.
I'm racing cars.
Yeah. As I tell this story, I am aware of how ridiculous it sounds.
You know how the optics of that, right?
It's so bad. So
the fact that you guys are still married, that's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
She's a winner.
Dude, just wait. I haven't even got to the part of the story that's crazy and stupid yet. So fast forward, longer story, somewhat shorter. We didn't finish at Speed World until like 6:30. I was supposed to pick her up at 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, if you've ever been to Speed World, you'll know you leave there, you smell like a gas
Yeah.
tank.
Oh,
That's
100%.
correct.
Yeah.
So
You
I
reek.
was
Well,
you just
especially
reek.
after so many races.
Yeah, we've been there all day. So I told her, I said, I'm a little bit late, but I'm just going to go home, shower, change. I'll come pick you up. She's like, okay, yeah, no worries. I'm just at home. So I go, shower, change. And then, like, my buddy was with me and he was like, so where are you guys going? I'm like, I think we're just going to go for dinner, like Olive Garden or something, whatever. And,
Did he tag along?
oh, yeah. Well, okay, so you got to remember.
That's a great friend.
You got to remember, this is POF. This lady
Yeah.
might be psycho.
Yeah,
I don't know.
fair.
So I was like, he's like, because he said, where are you guys going? I said, Olive Garden. He's like, I love Olive Garden. I'm like, do you want to, like, come? And he's like, wow. And his girlfriend was there too. Like, she had gone shopping while we were at Speed World. And he was like, well, I don't know. She would have to come too. And I'm like, I mean,
double
double
date.
date.
Fine.
Let's
Yeah,
double-
yeah,
I'll say
it's
she's
pretty,
cool with
it's
it.
pretty relaxed.
Yeah, at least
It's
he
great,
wasn't
yeah.
the third
Yeah.
wheel or anything.
Yeah,
So-
no, I thought it was just him for a
No,
minute.
no,
I'm
no.
like,
So-
That's fucking
just
weird.
sitting at the next table.
So I text her, I'm like, hey, my buddy's, hungry and whatever. Like, and I thought, like, you guys can tell me if this chick's crazy or whatever. And thankfully she wasn't. And
Oh, that's
but
amazing.
She was awesome. And she was like, yeah, sure. Love meeting new people. Like, bring them along. So, we went.
I've never met her, so there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It's just not the right time.
3 years
Yeah.
later. You've never met my wife either, though. That's fair.
This is the year.
Yeah.
We're breaking up.
Okay,
We're breaking
fine.
up.
All right.
So we go, we have our date or whatever, and we had this server, and she comes up to the table, and we said, okay, one couple has been together for 3 years. One couple's on the first date. Which one's which?
Oh.
And she picked us as the couple that had been together for 3 years. She says, you guys, I could just tell, you guys are long term,
shit.
you've been together.
So your buddy's not with that girl anymore.
No, she's not. No, they're not. Nope. That didn't work out.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
They got a big fight on the way home. I don't know what happened. Just kidding. But no, they're not together anymore. But after that, we were just like,
But that was it. Like, that was
it.
Okay.
Like, it
Click,
was
champ.
just fireworks from the first night, and it was
Amazing.
It was great, and inseparable ever since. So
Now you guys have two beautiful kids. And how old are your kids now?
So my son Nicholas is 7, turning 8 this year, and my daughter Caitlin is 5.
Okay.
So busy,
Wow. Yeah.
busy.
No shit,
But you know
busy.
what? I as somebody that I like, my kids are almost 11 and 16 almost.
Okay.
And that age, like the 5 to 10, it's so good because, like, first of all, they believe everything you tell them.
Yeah, blindly, blind faith.
Blind faith.
And they look up to you like you're somebody, like
You're
a god,
God.
like exactly, like daddy's here to take care of us and fun and all
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
it's an amazing stage. And then even whatever comes after, it's also every stage I think has its beauty. Like,
Yep.
I actually loved having babies. Like that was great. Like, my wife hated the baby stage, and like I napped all the time with my kids. Like, both of them, like, just
There's
lay
some
there.
pros and
So
cons
you
for
loved
sure.
having naps.
Oh
not
yeah, like,
having
but it was so good because like they would sleep with me for 2.5
Yeah.
hours. My wife
Which
45
gave her
minutes.
a huge
that's
break.
it. Yeah.
Which,
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
for her was good.
That's
good
why
thing.
I was a great husband. Yeah.
Right? You killed it.
We went camping. Everyone's going hiking. Oh no, kid needs to nap. Okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I'll stay here. Don't worry about me.
At one point, they came back. I'm still asleep. The kids like playing around, but I enjoyed like fatherhood so much in different stages. Every stage brings a different thing. So enjoy what you have right now because it's
So when into that, so you made that career change in 2020.
Yes.
And sorry, I think you did say earlier, just remind me what your kids, or you had only had one.
My daughter just
Just
been born.
born, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was born in September of 2019. So
Okay, so you're taking a dive, like you're taking a huge, not a dive, but you're taking a huge risk.
Oh yeah,
Like
head first.
at the beginning of also having taken a huge risk by having a child.
Yeah, second kid. Like needed
And your
diapers.
wife's behind you. She's in. She's like, yep,
And
do it.
before you we go forward. I just and you don't have to go into details, but like because I'm kind of in between right now, like where
Yeah.
I'm trying to make that leap of faith, but my wife, like, she's very conservative. Like, she's like, okay, well, I like the stability, the steady income, right?
Yep.
And like, how was your income at that time, and how big was the risk of you going? Like, was there going to be a big jump? Because like, I know my wife, that's what she's worried about the most.
Well, the planning and the security of the
it's
family.
the security,
The things
Yeah.
women worry about.
So for me, like, I had a great salary, you know, almost 6 figures every
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
like
Consistent.
barely, like consistent every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were okay, you know. We weren't living the lifestyle of the rich and famous because she went on mat leave after our son was born in 2017. So before that, we were great.
And did she have her business already, or
No,
Okay,
so she was in the education
Okay.
industry, and then when our son was born, she went on mat
those are
leave.
the worst.
Your
My
wife is
wife's a
one.
teacher.
So my wife's an EA.
Yeah.
So she went on mat leave, and then so she had been off. So before my son was born, financially things were great, and then down to one income. So still okay, but
Well,
not
one
as
kid,
strong.
no problem. Yeah.
Second kid comes along. So when I made the jump, it was like, ooh. I mean, and this is, people think about this with real estate all the time, is that, oh yeah, you make so much money. And in reality, the average realtor in Winnipeg probably sells 10 to 12 houses a year, maybe
Yeah.
one a month,
Yeah.
if you're lucky. Like, you're an okay agent. The average commission is like maybe $7,000.
Yeah.
So you take 7 times 10 for easy
70,
math.
80 grand.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
your
That's-
broker takes 20% of that.
Yeah.
And then you pay taxes.
That's the game to be in.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
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 Get your own brokerage.
Yeah.
Have a bunch of agents selling houses for you, paying you 20%.
Taking 20%
Yeah.
all day long.
You know,
Their
so-
insurance costs are pretty high, but
Every broker's different, by the way. Anyone who's real estate, it's not a
he's
guaranteed
protecting
split.
himself
Yeah,
right
you
now,
gotta
just
make
for the
sure.
record.
Yeah.
No, but
But yeah, that's the idea. Like, yeah, everyone's thinking, oh, well, you're getting so many percentage,
No.
but yeah, you don't sell one house a week.
No, you sell
Yeah.
one house a month if you're lucky.
If you're lucky,
And
yeah.
then, especially when you get going, nobody knows you. No, you have no
yeah.
track record.
When you're starting a business from nothing.
yeah. And it's
and
like
with a lot of competition.
tons of competition with people who have been doing it longer and can prove that they can do it better
Yeah.
than you. So, the pandemic was crazy because real estate went nuts, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, you must love this." And it was
Yeah.
like, well, as a real estate agent, buyers don't pay to work with a realtor. It's
Yeah.
free, right?
Yeah.
So picking up buyers is easier than getting listings.
That's right.
But the problem with the pandemic is you would pick up buyers and you'd have to go show 500 houses, right on 20 of them, and lose every time.
Yeah.
Your gas driving around. You need the internet. You need to look good. It costs
Your
money.
time,
Your
yeah.
time, right? And you're not bringing anything in.
Well,
so
it's an
that's-
investment.
Yep. But that's
Yeah.
why they say you got to have that 6 to 8 months of money
Yeah.
set aside to pay your bills, because even if you sold your house on day one, possession isn't for
Yeah.
3 months. You don't see
Yeah.
money for 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it took a bit of time. So the risk there when I jumped into it was big. It was like, okay, shit, if this doesn't work, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I got laid off. We were fucked anyway.
Yeah.
So
Also
exactly,
true.
yeah.
yeah,
that's
and that's
true.
why I say the pandemic was kind of like, could it be worse?
Not saying
I mean,
this
like,
guy,
I don't have a job
It's
anyway.
a bit of a gift in that sense, where
Yeah.
it's like, well,
yeah,
I got nothing else.
And
so
like
now's the time.
government was, here's
Well,
some money.
and like,
So that helped a little bit.
Like you said, the training is not
Did
not
it?
not that it's not hard, but
Paying for it now.
I have
Yes.
a buddy who worked where I work, and he got his license done during his breaks. Like, he did his studying, during breaks, and then went to get the test, and he got his license while he was at work.
Yep.
Like, and
Now you have to be active a certain amount to retain it.
100%.
Maybe this
like,
is too much detail, but
no, it's true.
No,
Every
yeah,
year
yeah.
there's like continuing education you have to do
Yeah.
to keep your
Yep.
license and all that stuff. And and the other thing too is like, it costs me, off the top of my head, about $400 a month just to be a realtor.
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to pay monthly dues, you have to pay administration fees. Like, even if you don't sell anything, so
You
every
still
month you have a
have to-
goose
Just
egg,
to keep
you're
your
down
license, yeah.
$400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's agents that sell 3 houses a year because their spouse is the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And,
They just keep their
They
license.
just
just
do
keep
it
their
and pay the
license.
things.
Exactly.
And yeah.
so
So
Sorry.
what do you like? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it?
Yeah.
What's good for your? Maybe I'll ask those 2 questions and then we'll get to the other 2. But like, what's good for your family about it? What's not good for your family about it? Like, what are your takeaways from your current career and what are the challenges?
Yeah, so
and you can take them in whatever order you want.
Yeah, no. So the things that I would say that I like about it is that it's my own business. It's my own brand. I can choose the direction I want to take it. I can work as hard as I want to work or as little as I want to work.
Yep.
And there's been months where I've chosen
It's mostly
either path.
little.
Yeah.
We're friends. It's mostly little.
It's,
in summer, for sure.
You know. And
he golfs all the time.
Yeah,
it's twice a
he's
week
6
on the
days a
golf
week
course.
on the golf course.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like the fact that I have that a bit of control
Of course,
over that.
freedom. Well, autonomy and freedom is everything. Like,
Yep.
I do what I do for freedom, even though I have the least amount of freedom I've ever had in my entire life. But like, I have this guise of freedom that's an
bang
umbrella
on.
of freedom where I'm like, yeah, I get to choose what I want.
Yeah.
And I guess right now I'm choosing to work 16 hours a day.
And as much as that's kind
Is
of
that
like
what I chose?
as much as that's kind of a funny joke, but it's also
There's a
the
lot of truth to it, yeah.
Because I genuinely love my job.
Yeah.
Like I really
know
enjoy what I do.
I know
And
you
that's
do.
the key.
And I rip on you tons for it, but I know you love
But
it.
I could take it because I love my job.
Yeah. That's right.
You say the joke and I turn and I'm like,
I know
"Yeah,
you
fucking
do love
job's
it.
great."
And I know you're also an exception to some of the rules in that sense.
Try to be. And
Not always.
yeah,
But
it's
I'm not here to rip on you. I'm here to have you on my show. So,
I will leave.
no, but you
But
guys,
we're
like,
also
so-
here to rip on him.
Yeah, well, I am. So, like, there's freedom to it,
Yeah.
and it's also that freedom alone is very constricting sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's also kind of the thing that I don't like about it too,
Yeah.
is that it's not a structured lifestyle in any way whatsoever.
Everybody has to be flexible.
Yeah, and when you take on a client, you work when they're not.
Yep.
So it's evenings gone, it's weekends gone. Like I always tell people, like they'll say, "Oh, could you show this house on Saturday?" Sure. And like, well, I don't want to bother you. I'm like, well, Saturday is my Monday.
Well, that's my fucking job.
Yeah,
like that's what I do.
I'm here to do that.
And my family knew that. Like they knew what we were signing up for, right? So they know Dad's gone on Saturdays, but it just means like when the Saturday comes where I don't have showings, we take advantage.
Yeah.
Right. We're going
make
out,
the
we're
best
doing
of it.
something. Yeah. We're there's a lot of like I won't go, play guitar by myself in my office, or I won't, have like alone time on those days, like especially weekends, right, when the kids aren't at school.
Yeah.
I'll save like for a Tuesday afternoon when it's like, oh,
I got some time. I got a few hours
and
here.
that's why golf is so huge for me. Like we talked about at the top of the show, but like for me, our golf is a massive part of like my mental stability.
Dude, that's a huge. Me too. Like me, you, and John. That's the same thing for all of us.
And doing it in the morning, like, let's be honest, no clients is going to call you at 8 in the morning. They'll call you around 10, 11, noon or so, right?
I'm back at my desk by 10:30 most mornings.
Yeah.
So I've given up an hour and a half of business time.
And we're on our phones anyways.
I've gotten
the time,
tons of work done from the golf course. I've sold houses while we're golfing.
So
I booked
you
showings,
still
all
can,
that stuff. Yeah.
So it's not about, but like, no, you're right. I agree with you that like the time we spend golfing together in summer is like unbelievably valuable to me.
Oh.
Like it matters so much
Very high priority.
to my life and my mental health and my mental stability. Like that is a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
So
it's tough to like cancel like on the days where you can't make
when
it.
I can't make it, it's so hard.
hurts.
And I know
It's
I can't. And like sometimes things just get in the way, and that's okay. And like if something's got to give, golf's going to give.
Yeah.
But like, man, I hate not doing it.
Yeah.
So just wanted to ask, so you kind of said like, okay, yeah, you've accepted the fact that like you have to work evenings and weekends, right? Because I assume you had a 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday before, right?
Yep.
So is that how did you like? Were you ready for it? Like, yeah, I'm doing it, or was there like a challenge where like, or a time period where you were struggling with it? It's like, holy shit! Like, I really need to figure this shit out because your kids and wife is home and like you're leaving them now.
It's a big family shift.
Yeah. And the thing too is like habits, right? I had developed a habit of working from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
Yeah, here's the weekend, right?
Yes, the weekend's here. And then when I got my license, it was like, and again, I'll thank the pandemic. Not that I'm trying to the fucking pandemic.
No, thank it all you want.
But
if somebody won, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of us lost. So
we couldn't do anything that we had normally done anyway.
Yeah. Everything was up in the air. It all changed.
Yeah. So for me, like Friday blurred into Sunday, blurred into Wednesday. I didn't fucking know what day it was. I got up every day, and when you don't have clients, you reach out to people like, hey man, how's it going? You thinking about whatever the annoying realtor crap you got to do. But there was definitely for me, like it was like this selfish thing where I was like, I don't want to give up my time. Like, that's my time. My
Right.
evenings and my weekends, my time.
Yeah.
I don't want to give that up. Maybe I could be that realtor that like never works on the weekend. I'll just like, I'll just be like, no, I'm a Monday to Friday kind of guy. And if you can't buy during the day,
and I think like you could do that.
Yeah.
But you got to earn it.
100%.
Which means you got to go through. Like, if you want to start setting the terms, A, you better be fucking good.
Yep.
And B, like, it's gonna take time to train your customer base, which changes constantly.
Always.
So like every other business has repeat customers.
Yeah.
Like regular repeat customers.
Yep.
And like yours doesn't.
No.
You have a funnel of a giant amount of people that's also changing constantly.
I have a listing right now for $1.8 million, and I have a listing coming up for $250,000.
Yeah. And both are super important.
100%. They'll get the same attention, they'll get the same commitment and the same energy, and it's just and like that's one thing I do love about the job is that I have met people from every walk of life, every planet, not every planet. Fuck.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
No, like every place on the planet is
we
what I'm
talked to
gonna say.
Elon Musk.
The dude's an alien, 100%. But every part of the planet, like I've helped people move from overseas, in the country. Like it's been a really cool way to meet people and kind of learn a lot. I've learned tons about the way people live in other parts of the world.
Well, that's your network too, and like so you're building that network. So like if this person had a good experience with me, they'll tell 5 people and they'll tell 5 people and like I get this opportunity and like you're constantly, in my mind, your job is actually not selling houses, it's like building a network.
It is.
Like that, so that when people decide to make the biggest decision they make in their life financially, which usually home ownership is that. Like, and people don't make it every year.
No.
They make it every 10 years or every 50 years. You want to be the phone call they make.
And that's it. And that's the thing you got to wrap your head around.
Is there a reward? Is there a moral, an emotional reward to any of the things you do, or is it just work?
No. And I think like if it's just work to you, you're not going to last.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. You have to be invested into it. Like when my clients are buying a house, like it's like I'm buying it with them. Like I'm just as excited as they are. And if you can't attach yourself to it, you're just like a robot at that point. And
right? Yeah.
You can't give the service. You can't give the right service.
To me, that's a good salesman. Like in anything, really. Like if you're genuinely happy for me buying this item or house or whatever, like cars too. When we're buying a big item like a house or a car, like this is something. It's not just an iPad or a TV.
It's a serious purchase for somebody.
It is because we're going to be using it every day, and people go see houses. Imagine, young couples like, oh yeah, this like at least for us, it was like, yeah, our kids could be running around here, like that, and like now you're a family guy, so yeah, you can relate to that shit. But like sometimes, it might be an older couple, but like if you can relate to it, and that will help you sell everything too, and it makes your day better.
Oh, and it
doesn't feel like a struggle.
Bang on, yeah. When you come home at the end of the day and you're just like exhausted, and like spring is like Realtor Olympics.
Madness.
So like April to June is just like you train all year for this, and it's crazy. You're doing 12, 20 showings a day, and it's like you come home and you're just like exhausted. But then it's like, but you know what? Bob and Sally, they're gonna get that house on Tuesday. They're gonna be so pumped. Bob's gonna get his garage.
So how do you balance that with your family and being a dad and being a husband? How is your family, because you've had some years doing it now, so like you've had some time, how have you guys figured that out?
I and my wife will attest to this. I'm somebody who is very good at removing the emotion out of things. I can look at things very black and white.
So you're a psychopath. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's kind of a prerequisite for the job.
All right.
Fuck.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
It was a great show.
To make a phone call. No, so I've just become very good at detaching myself, because at the beginning I wasn't able to do that.
Of course.
So mentally
Takes time to
invested.
learn it. Yeah.
I saw it on Facebook. I'm part of a bunch of real estate groups from all over the country and world. And someone had put like, could you imagine if a surgeon was emotionally invested with every patient they did?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, oh my God, they died on the operating table.
Yeah.
Like you would go home and just like, how could you sleep at night?
It would destroy you.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just a job. Like there's an element of the part where you have to kind of say like, this is my job.
Yeah.
Right. And I am emotionally invested in helping these people. I'm excited when they're excited. I'm sad when they're excited. But when I get home at the end of the day and it's like, you have to learn to check that at the door so that you can be there for your kids and your wife.
Did you go through a period where you said you kind of went through a period learning that?
Yeah.
And I would assume you only learned that through experience.
I was
Nobody can teach
exhausted,
you that.
dude.
Your broker's not going to tell you that. Like,
yeah. And our broker does give great training, but this is one thing I don't think any training can really prepare you for.
Yeah.
Is like the mental workload that comes with this job is immense. It's massive. Like I would come home and I was so drained I couldn't even be present. And it's not because I was staring at my phone. It's just like I'm on the couch and there,
done.
but I'm just like
batteries are empty.
Yeah, done. And it was just like it starts to affect the relationship. Like my kid was 2-3 years old at this point. My daughter was a newborn, so she's just a ball of mush. I get to just hold her and kind of look at her, and she's good. But my son, I noticed that I wasn't like engaging the same way that I felt like I wanted to.
Okay.
I wanted to be better. I wanted to be like, why am I not like, let's go throw a ball or, run. I was too tired. I was like too exhausted to do those things. And it was like, I felt like shit because I was like, this is not the dad that I wanted to be. But like, I'm only tired because I'm out here doing all this shit so that I can provide like the dad that I want to be.
Yeah, no, I know exactly the feeling.
Yeah, and that was the struggle. And that was like a year and a half. The first year and a half was bad like that.
Yeah.
And then the second, like I told you, the first winter was awful. The second winter was a little bit better. And we decided, hey, you know what? The year was good financially, business-wise. Things were great. So we decided, let's do a little work in the house. We did a small reno, changed our main floor a little bit. And like I'm pretty handy, good with tools. So did it myself and with my wife. And that's another thing that we did when we first got together was we got it and flipped a house together.
Jesus.
You want to test the relationship?
I thought putting IKEA furniture together as a couple was a test.
We ripped a house down to the studs.
Oh my God,
and rebuilt
really?
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
You guys are
Yeah.
you guys are
Awesome.
unstoppable. Absolutely
Yeah,
unstoppable.
That's true. I agree because
Claire's a fucking hero. I've never met her, but she's a fucking hero.
we did a
To
ton.
put up with me through that, absolutely she is.
We did a tons of renos at our old house and here too, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and
That doesn't sound
like
fun.
I know.
That's my nightmare.
I know couples where like the wife's like, I want this, but I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Whereas like we were renovating this basement. Like this was not a room. This
nice.
yeah. And then this was an open area. But like my wife came down like, okay, what can I paint? And my dad's like, old school, like, you can't paint.
Get outta here.
She's like, fuck you, I can't. And she did a great job. And my dad's like, after like he didn't admit it in front of her. Told her,
No,
like,
you would
Of course
never.
not, you can't.
she
no.
did a good job. Yeah.
No, that's good. And like, so we did that one, the second winter we did that reno, and it was like a great reset. And because it took my mind off working every day, because until then it would have been every day.
Work.
Work. We can't fail. Not enough paychecks is enough paychecks.
Yeah.
It's like sell another house.
Well,
sell another
that's
house.
like it
So the way to that
leads to everything.
today versus then, like you've had some years, you've built a bit of a market. You're actually doing, from my understanding, fairly well.
Yeah.
Like you've been successful.
Yep.
What are the overall feelings around that journey, and like as far as how has that rebalanced your time with your kids? How has that rebalanced your time with your wife, your relationship, and all those things?
And before you answer that, like
That's 40 questions in
don't,
one.
Yeah,
so sorry,
don't forget
but-
that. Yeah, don't forget
And
the
now
40
Tommy's
questions.
gonna also ask you
Hit
one.
me.
So.
Yeah, but
Thanks,
just
Tommy,
like
for letting me do the
Yeah.
interview.
Do you like you own your own business? But I know like so there's realtor companies. Like, do you work for a certain company, or you strictly have your own realtor company?
Yeah, no. So I'm brokerage under Royal LePage Prime.
Okay.
So you need to be attached to a brokerage.
Okay.
You can't be a broker until you've been a realtor for at least 2 years
That's
in
right.
Manitoba.
Okay.
So
You guys set cute rules.
yeah, dude, there's a whole book of them.
Yeah. So I was just curious, like where you're at
good
with
question,
that.
good question. Yeah. So I don't, and then that's the beauty too, is if you get with a good brokerage, they can help with a lot of these challenges.
Yeah.
My brokerage is one of the best. We're the biggest brokerage in the province, and for good reason.
There's
you
probably
guys
no
are
few of
you
my
guys are no
buddies.
joke,
then,
yeah.
It's massive.
I know like 3 people who sell under your brokerage.
Yeah, same here. I was like,
230 agents or something like that.
and I know at least 3, and if I looked at the whole thing, it'd probably
no more.
10. Like, yeah.
And they provide a lot of help. So like when I do a deal, I just submit all my paperwork and like they deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, you pay for it.
Well,
You- oh, 100%
yeah, you pay
They
for
don't
it, but
give you help, you pay for
it
it.
saves you time, though, right? Like,
Yep.
and all the paperwork that you really don't want to do. Like,
Absolutely. So it's the brokerage is great. To answer your questions, this year and last year are a lot different because there's some confidence in the process now.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years. Yeah, 5 years
Yeah.
now, and it's like, okay,
it's greased.
I know what
Yeah.
happens now.
Yeah.
There was so much uncertainty. Plus you put the pandemic on top of it, and then interest rates went from 1% to 6%, and it was oh shit.
Yeah, I know.
Not good.
I have to
Yeah.
renegotiate this year, and I'm super bummed about it.
I got a guy, but
We did it when it was nice and low. It's perfect. Yeah.
I didn't get that.
So you had all of that, and it was the first few years was just so much uncertainty,
Yeah.
and it's oh man, what if no one ever calls me ever again, and I just never sell another house? But
So did your family? Did you express Did you
Constantly.
and Claire have those conversations all the time?
and we still do.
Okay. That's good.
Well,
we're
and-
open book
that's a
at
good
home.
thing.
And
Yeah,
at the
that's
end of the
great.
day, it doesn't matter how
Or I think it's
how
great.
good
It
you
is.
are, but it could happen that nobody will ever call you.
100%.
The phone
Right?
could
Dude.
stop ringing tomorrow.
Yeah.
and
People
that's
could
not
hear
even
this
in your-
show and be like, "This guy's an idiot."
Yeah.
Well, and some of it's not even in your
or
control.
they'll be like, "This guy's awesome. I want to book
My
with
phone
him."
might. I need to hire somebody because of
but
this show.
it could be it could be either, and so there's things out of your control
Yep.
that can have a massive effect on your
100%.
your career and your ability to provide for your family.
Yep.
Like COVID.
Yep.
COVID was a benefit.
Yep. For me, there was a lot of agents that bailed and
Yeah.
left the industry because they just couldn't handle showing the 500 houses to sell one.
Yeah.
Because it went from you used to have to show 10 houses and sell one.
Yeah.
And then it was
It was insane.
went
Well, and also everybody
crazy.
wanted to leave their fucking house. So
Yeah.
any reason to leave my fucking house, I'm in.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
totally true. But then in order to leave, real estate was weird because real estate was the only thing you could do, which involved strangers going into other people's houses.
Well, we won't get into the logic
yeah.
of how all that happened because I don't want to be canceled on this podcast. But
Fair enough.
but yeah,
I'll
it
censor
changed. What it did, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Sure did.
And so you're in a landscape that can change fairly quickly.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've built yourself a comfortable. I don't know if it's ever comfortable. I don't think it ever should be. Actually,
Never really
I don't
is.
think comfortable is a good thing when it comes to business. You
No.
should never feel comfortable.
Nope.
You've built yourself a good business.
Yeah, it's a functioning business that's
Yeah.
somewhat predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can plan. You can budget. You can
Yep.
to an extent.
Yep.
Yep.
That's never secure.
You know nothing's guaranteed,
Yeah.
but if I do X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C should happen.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you hope that happens as much as possible, and you also hope you replace the people who fall off with new people, and you can maintain or grow.
Yeah.
Grow probably is the goal, but
Yep.
so okay. So the one thing we haven't talked about is you being a realtor, your career choice,
Yep.
up against your family life, and so
Yeah.
you have young kids.
Yep.
They're involved in activities. They're involved in, I'm assuming your son probably plays hockey. You play hockey.
Yep.
Or he's going to.
He is going to.
Your daughter probably has some extracurricular activities.
Yep.
And all those things happen when everybody wants you working.
Yeah.
How do you manage that to still be a part of it? And I get maybe you're not there all the time, but how do you be a part of those? How are you actively a part of their lives?
Yeah.
While still doing a good job?
Let me answer that, Claire.
No, and I know Claire's part of the answer, but I want to hear about what your
Yeah, yeah,
experience
yeah.
with that is.
Yeah, it's there's a whole bunch of different levels to it. It's we've always been very open, my wife and I, about priorities with the kids and
Yeah.
and those things, and it's always a very high priority, but we know that those activities don't happen unless we can have a functioning household that can
That's right.
pay for those activities and,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So we know that my work comes first in front of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not to the point where I'm never going to my son's soccer game.
Yeah.
Right. And there's some strategy behind it too. I was very intentional about the kind of houses I wanted to sell. When you start, you take whatever you can get. My first listing was a vacant piece of land in St. Francis.
You take everything.
Xavier. You just say,
Yeah.
yeah, I can sell that. But then you kind of slowly carve yourself into a niche. And for me, there's agents that will sell 40 houses a year and I'll sell 20 and we'll make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, I'm predominantly a listing agent. I do help people buy, but my business is almost 70-30 listings.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and that's not by accident. It's marketing is my background,
Yeah.
television production, broadcasting.
Well, and you do a lot of unique things with your that others hire or don't do.
Yep. I'm a bit of a Swiss Army knife that was like designed for real estate, and I didn't realize
That's an unbelievable way to put it. I think. Yeah. Okay.
It has sort of just worked out that way.
Yeah.
But because I'm able to do that, I can provide for the family. And when you have listings versus buyers are the ones that drag you all over the place looking at houses till 9 p.m.
I'm one of those.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll give you an example after. Yeah.
So for me, when I'm the listing agent, you know, a lot of my work is done 9 to 5. We shoot the videos, we take the photos, we put the marketing up, and a lot of my evenings are at home. Yeah. So
you've done that on purpose.
Yeah, by design, because I had 2 little kids and a wife, and I like being at home. Yeah. I'm a big hockey fan, and the games are all on at 6 o'clock.
Well, and your wife sounds like a nice lady, and your kids sound great.
Yeah, I want to be around. You know, I'm not trying to escape anything. Yeah. So it's done by design. Now there are weeks, and they know this too, that dad's job's kind of crazy, and like I'll straight up have conversations with my son. My daughter's old enough now; she's starting to get them too, where it's like, dad has a crazy job.
Yeah.
Like dad's job, like see that big house right there? Like I have to make sure someone else wants it and wants to take all their shit, pack it up and put it in there and then stay there forever.
That's a good, like, logical way to frame it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can't sing Wheels on the Bus right now because I got to go.
Yeah, exactly. And like there's been mornings where it's, you know, I drop the kids off and I'm in like a backwards hat and a hoodie and like just dirty jeans. And then there's other days it's a 3-piece suit and my hair is slicked back and it's like, okay, dad's going to work today.
Time to go to work.
Yeah, and that's just the way that it is. And like, I think because they were so like right from young, that's just the way that it is. They don't know what I used to be like.
They don't know it any different.
Yeah,
that's true.
They don't know that 9 to 5 dad where he was always around on the weekends and now he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, like this is just our life.
Well, and you've created your own life and your own pattern, and like Claire's on board and the kids are on board because that's all they know, and it works. Yeah.
It's been great
for you guys
because there's been like,
and I'm sure it takes maintenance, and I'm sure it takes like constant check-in and conversation, and
we do that too. Like it's great because like on a PD day, like we'll sit in the hot tub on a Friday morning because the kids are home from school.
Yeah, my daughter's off today, tomorrow, and Monday.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Private school.
Okay.
It's different.
There you go.
It's so funny. You pay all this money and they get more days off.
Yeah, and they don't go.
They get way more days off. And I'm just like, whoa, fuck you. Like, that's not how this works.
I'm paying for her to be there.
At least on the days off, let me send her there. I don't care what she does, but let me send her there.
Yeah, it should come with like daycare.
I'm paying for it. Doesn't work that way.
No,
they get more time off and it costs more money.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, Claire and I, we do check in. Like I will literally say, like kids go to bed, we're on the couch 10 o'clock at night, and it's like, hey, like how's things going? We have an intentional conversation.
Good.
On a regular basis.
That's so good, man. That's important. Holy shit, is that important?
Without it, I don't know. Because like you, I'm naturally introverted. I'm not an extroverted person.
I'm weird that way. I'm a bit of a chameleon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't like. For me, I'm not like get off work and Friday like where are we going? What are we doing? Like I'm just like I don't want to leave my house.
Yeah,
you never see me outside of golf.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just don't.
So winter's your favorite.
And golf is a pretty introverted sport.
We don't have to talk that much. I could just hit my ball to the left and I never have to see Tim.
Well, and like you can control that. Or you think you can control that?
I can't control that.
Or you can talk.
John, maybe.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Or you can talk about golf and that's about it, right?
Yep. But it's also smaller. It's a smaller group. It's different, which is funny because your whole, and it's probably what makes you great at what you do, is your whole thing is like limiting the amount of interaction and also like keeping them close and personal.
Yeah.
So your clients, like, you don't want to even think in your head you have 100 clients. You want to think you have 2.
Yeah.
And like, I'm going to focus on these 2. And then maybe it's a different 2 this afternoon, but like I got to do this.
It's so funny.
Like compartmentalizing
it's
those.
Very bang on.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, in my opinion, like for me to have the success I've had,
to be
the way
great,
I've done it, you have to be able to isolate that stuff and keep it compartmentalized. Because if you can't, it's just going to be overwhelming. Because if I open, like I use a program with all that stuff in it, and the list is long. I'm like, oh, And like typically it's like a Monday morning activity. I'll go through that list and kind of pick out whatever. Like, holy crap, I haven't talked to that person or that person. Oh shit. You know, and all of a sudden it's like
overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming.
Quick,
So it's you got to be able to set aside those things and put them in their own little buckets.
Yeah.
But yeah, like winter, I hibernate, man. Like I
think we're meant to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm like a bear.
Yeah. I think we're meant to. By nature, I think we're meant to.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why don't we take another little break? I want to talk about his hibernation.
From their humble roots in kitchens and music venues all over Winnipeg, the creators of Intergalactic Sauces have turned their passion project into a line of must-have condiments for flavor and heat lovers everywhere. Getting their start selling tacos to hungry concert goers at local underground music festivals, the Intergalactic crew has stayed true to its DIY rock and roll aesthetic. Every delicious bottle is a carefully designed collaboration with indie designers, printers, and a bit of inspiration from the cosmos. Whether it's a limited run or one of Intergalactic's core flavors, whether you want to add a bit of zip to a meal or blow your head off with heat, there's a sauce for everyone. Go to intergalacticsauces.com and get your sauce today.
So you talked about that there's ups and downs of the industry, right?
Yes.
So when you're not selling houses, when the market's down, what do you do to keep your mental stability up? Like not worry about finances, but like
stay motivated.
I spend money.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, he loves to do that. That's true.
No, it's so like right now, like
we just became instant friends.
Yeah, you both love spending money.
We have so much in common.
You want to do karate in the garage?
Yep.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
So no, but like I'll take on a project in the wintertime typically. So like we talked about that first reno I did. Like right now, this year it's been busy this year, but we're finishing our basement finally, which has been partially finished forever. But I find it's good for my mental to have something not attached to real estate to do. So I do that. I play hockey a lot in the wintertime. Like hockey is my winter golf. Right? Without it.
Absolutely,
And it's not negotiable.
He's tall and thin. You couldn't have been surprised by that.
I'm tall and
Finish.
Tallish.
Finish? No.
Not finish. If you're Finnish, you'd be better at hockey.
But yeah, so it's important for me to always have sort of something to do. And if it's not like a hands-on construction project, it's some other kind of project. Like we were just talking off air about cooking.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I have taken up in the last 3 years as sort of my winter thing. I don't really cook in the summer. Yeah. Like I'll barbecue and grill a little bit in the summertime, but like
not spending time in the kitchen.
It's sort of like we're busy. We're camping, we're golfing, we're out and about. But in the wintertime, like that's when I decided, like this year, soups and stews were my thing that I was going to master.
Those are great. That's awesome.
I want to learn how to make soup from scratch and stews from scratch. And for me, it gives me something to look forward to on the days where, like, there's a funny saying, like, some days in real estate you sell 3 houses and some days you wash your car. Like, and it's so true. Like some days you wake up and they're just like,
just crickets.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
So, you throw a post on Facebook and you put your feet up and watch some TV or whatever.
Well, how much can you do? Like I guess you can hustle. You could phone a bunch of people, but like at a certain point,
say there's always something you can do.
Yeah, and I believe that. There's also like always something else you can do.
100%.
And if you don't need to do that thing, it doesn't mean you're not motivated. It just means I need time for something else as well.
Yeah. And that's where the old school and the new school kind of separates.
Yeah.
Old school agents are like, they're at their desk with their white shirt and their black tie on, calling like, heard you want to sell your house. It's been 4 years. Would you like market evaluation?
Old school hustling. Yeah. Which there's value to.
100%. Not knocking it at all.
Cold calling, there's value to cold calling.
Yeah. For me, like I'm more take advantage of social media, AI, that sort of thing. Work smarter, not harder.
That's a different path.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of the future, right? So
100%. So I take advantage of those things, which allows I do some creative social media posts. We have those things out there, and then I let them run for a couple days while I'm going to figure out how to make a stew today.
Yeah.
And it sounds ridiculous, but it's not. It's a mental break. And the thing is too, is your phone is always there. My kids are at school. It's lunchtime. If something pops up, well, the stew can wait. I'll come back to it.
Well,
whatever.
It's a stew. It's the best.
Yeah.
It can wait forever.
Like
it doesn't even matter, actually. It's better if you're busy in the middle of it. No, that's great. And like, I think it's important that like we could all work 24 hours a day, every day.
Yeah.
And would we produce more income? Yes,
Yep.
probably. But
you
at what
also lose
cost?
something, yeah.
Well, and
Yeah,
you talked
exactly.
about earlier, like at what cost? Like
Yep.
at the cost of my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my kids,
100%.
my friendships. Like, yeah, you can work your fucking life away. You
Yeah.
can. And I could do it. In fact, I've talked about that on the show before. Like, I'm pretty bad at balancing that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
actually, that's a struggle of mine, is like, I default to work and then everything else in my life.
Yeah, and definitely there's like, I'm not trying to sit here like I got it all fucking figured
No,
out.
no, no,
There's
no, no,
days too
but-
where I'm the same.
But
Where it's like,
that's the beauty of it, is like, I think we all move in and out of that.
Yep.
And like everything's, like I talked about right at the beginning of this, like there's 4 categories we all want to be the best at, and like we have to balance that and figure out, and that changes every day.
100%.
Like that's a moving target,
And
and,
I
we're
think-
just trying to move with it as best we can to satisfy all the things.
Well, that's just it. And the key is to, at least in my opinion, is that if you learn from the bad, then that's okay that something shitty happened, because
Yeah.
you move on, right? And you try to do better next
Yeah.
time. So
yeah, absolutely.
So
well,
I'm gonna wrap it up.
yeah,
there.
yeah. Please,
Tyler, we kept you for way too fucking
Yeah.
long.
No, it was a blast.
Although you were only planning to be here at this time, so like I think we're fine.
we're 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
This is super fast, boys.
but yeah, like in this camera, feel free to plug your
Yeah,
business.
do,
Your,
Oh,
you know-
geez, a plug. I do have my own podcast. I'll plug my podcast.
yeah, anything, yeah.
Yeah, the Selling Houses podcast. You can get on Apple and Spotify. It's if you ever want to know a little bit behind the scenes, more than I gave today. We try to do a weekly episode, kind of bi-weekly, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
But
it's fun.
Selling Houses podcast. If you're in the Winnipeg area, want to do some real estate, give me a shout. TylerRobb.ca.
There we go.
There we
yeah.
go.
And you know what? If you tell him the secret code, the Quiet Riot Show, he'll give you 1% less
free
commission.
commission.
Yeah.
You get free commission, free
This was not
sales
negotiated
and
before the-
purchases.
and in
I'll help you buy for free.
and in exchange, we will run some ads for him. Yeah, he's our new sponsor. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate you being here.
Dude, it was so much fun.
Our friendship is a strange one, but like a very important one.
It's
to me,
becoming
and
more normal.
Yeah, and I really am grateful that you took the time to come and do this, and thank you.
I'm very, very thankful for you to be here too, and I'm glad that
Did
I
you
got.
get a mug for him?
I'm getting there.
Well, fucking
I'm very,
hurry up.
I'm very happy that I got to meet his golfing buddy, and hopefully he'll invite me in the morning one day so I can come out
That would
golfing
be
with
so
you
you're
guys.
too slow. You're probably too slow.
It's okay.
It's not
An afternoon
happening.
round.
I don't mind cheating.
We can do an evening round or something. That's fine.
No, it's okay. I'll skip a couple of
Oh, that's
strokes.
fine. Okay, then
I
we're
don't.
good. Yeah,
I
then
don't
we're
give
second
a
hole.
I don't give a
Take
shit.
a swing. If it doesn't work, pick it up.
Well,
drop it
exactly.
one of us.
Yeah. I don't
Probably
give a
Tyler.
shit. I don't.
John, actually.
I don't give a shit about my score. You know.
okay.
So I just love the game. I love golfing, and I'd love to come out one morning with you guys
For
and
sure.
just kind of hang out.
Absolutely.
And
fun.
as a thank you, we have a little
Oh, sweet.
mug for you.
See, I kind of ruined it. now.
Yeah, you
that.
totally did. So
I would have been so surprised if Tim hadn't ruined that.
right. Yeah, exactly. So
Well, fuck you guys.
I'll throw in some stickers for you as well.
Beauty, no, that's great.
You can give the stickers to all your clients and leave it in open houses and stuff.
Just drop we drop a card off every time we
Yeah,
show a
just
house.
leave
so
one
I'll
of those.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
if you
perfect.
you're
Thank
feeling
you.
sad and depressed, listen to the show.
Feeling sad about your home purchase? This will make you just as sad, but at least you won't feel alone.
That's so funny.
Thanks
No.
for coming, man.
Take care, everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Quiet Riot Show. We want to give a big shout out to our sponsors for making this show possible. And of course, thank you, our amazing listeners, for your support. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We're at Quiet Riot Show on all platforms. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can watch full episodes of the podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please rate and review us wherever you're listening. It really helps us grow and reach more listeners like you. We'd also love to hear from you. Have questions, suggestions, or thoughts about the show? Drop us an email at quietriot@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Quiet Riot Show.